continues to fill it until the reservoir is full. And then you turn on the power supply to get the pump going. Make sure it's plugged in, obviously, to power. And then as soon as the reservoir runs empty, turn it off, refill the reservoir, and keep that going until you have coolant coming out of that tube. Once you do, fill it up all the way, and then let it run for at least a half an hour to allow the air to start to circulate and make its way to the reservoir. The level will continue to drop as long as air is making its way there. Continue to fill it up, but leave a little space for air to actually be able to accumulate at the top. You don't want to fill it all the way to the neck. And just keep that going until you have, well, what seems to be all the major air bubbles moved, and then we'll talk about how to get rid of the micro bubbles. Okay, so now that our loop is full, there's going to be a lot of air in this system. So what we're going to do next, we're going to let it run. Obviously for our leak test, we want to promote the movement of air. So you're just going to sort of lean the system. You see as I do that, we start to see bubbles move, you can hear them moving. See them making their way back to the reservoir. Move it that way, or move it the other way. See all the air moving through the tubes. The nice thing about clear tubes is that you can actually see it. Take it backwards. Also, make sure the cap is on the or the reservoir while you're doing this, because you don't want to leak it all out everywhere. And then if you give it just a little tap when you go down, you don't smash it on the ground, but if you just tap it down, you'll loosen some bubbles up too. You break that surface tension. I would recommend doing a leak test at least for 2 or 3 hours. Some people will say 24 hours. I find that if it doesn't leak in the first few hours, it's not going to leak at all. So we're going to let that go. You'll notice the coolant will start to clear up in the reservoir. Right now we still have the plastic on it, remember that, so that's one of the reasons why it doesn't look super clear and shiny. But you're going to let this go for a while.